Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Blue Dragon 5 here. Why? Well, Inside 2 came out, and we're in a mood. Tonight's scintillating selection of topics. Best music track from a Pixar score. Best non-biological father. And which Pixar film should overlay Splash Mountain? Okay, folks. Pack your emotional baggage. Grab some donuts, because we're going to the moon and beyond as we look within and find our inner arena.
Woo!
In this corner, he floats like a Cadillac and stings like a Beamer. What's the crowd saying? Oh, give him the pie! Okay, it's pie on my cake!
Vroom vroom, like a car from the movie Cars.
And in the opposing corner, a jokester who can be a top scarer when dealing with an argument. Gliding in on a dandelion seed, falling with style, it's Orange Bird.
Boo! You know, like a monster. From Monsters, Inc.
And joining me by the control console, it's Tiki and Jacob Weil.
A triple dead gum will make you smile.
Oh, yeah. It is time.
All right, so how are we feeling tonight, everyone?
I'm feeling emotional.
I'm stoked. I think this is going to be a fun one.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. It's gonna be great. Love
We
Pixar.
already have quite a few people in the comments. LEB, Eli, and C Code Gias.
Indeed, indeed.
I'm waving. You can't see me, but pretend.
All right, use your imaginations.
Imaginations.
Yes.
All right, so let's do a little refresher on the rules for our little game. So we have 3 main rounds. Way it works is you reveal your pick, then you give your opening statement, in which you say all the good things, all the redeeming, all the redeeming things to kind of flesh out. Just like here's what you're talking about. Just like all the things that kind of foist it up. And that's fight night. You're going to try and tear the other person down to their fundamental core emotions and unravel them until they're nothing on the ground but a sobbing mess of memory and broken dreams. But again, in kind of a nice, kind of light, kind of fun way. Just don't get dour with it. Just keep it light. But if the other person's crying, you've won.
That's the
All
plan.
right. R2 here. He's the bell. When he talks, I don't want to hear anymore. There'll be time to deliberate. We're all 3 of us judges. We're going to cast our votes and decide who gets the point for the round. Now, at the end of 3 rounds, you both get a little reward because we love you. Okay, you get a little reward, players, and that reward is some Luxo money.
Ooh.
Yeah. Of course, this is optional. You can do with it what you will, because you earned it. If you choose to flip it, lands heads, you get a point. Lands tails, not so lucky. You lose a point. It's gone. Goodbye. Out the door. Out to lunch, even.
As Tiki is so eloquently demonstrating.
Yes. Visual aids, kids. Visual aids. Not because we don't trust you to listen, but, it helps. All right. So hidden in one of our rounds is the Hidden City Cafe coin. It's a deep cut reference. The birthplace of all the original Pixar films.
Oh yeah, that is a deep cut. Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so just that's hidden in one of the rounds and will be awarded to the winner of said round. It is found in. Now that coin, I warn you both, that coin will be flipped. It went to great expense to hide that coin, and it will be flipped. You know, we have budgets for these things, so we got to make sure we use every dime and silver piece, and that includes this coin. All right. I should also probably tell you, you know, there might be a penalty word in effect.
Mm-hmm.
Just
You know,
one?
You'll never know.
We don't know. We don't know. Could be one. Could be more than one. I mean, I could be lying to you right now. I mean, you don't know.
Like I do know though.
Yeah, Jacob knows because Jacob knows everything.
What
I'm
am I
not-
thinking about right now?
It's like I'm not gonna claim to know that.
Oh, it means must be really bad. Oh, Orangebird, you're thinking something horrible there. He doesn't want to say it. Oh boy. Anyway, Pie, man, you go the other way. I don't know what Orangebird's thinking, but just head for the hills. It can't be good.
Well, I don't know everything that goes on in your guys' heads, but I do know the words. I am privy to the words, so
Jacobs, check your Facebook really quick, if you don't mind, your messenger. All right.
Anyway, again, could be a name, could be a place, could be a person, could be a specific turn of phrase, could be anything. Starting now. So if either of you two say a word potentially, you will get a penalty. Let's just say it's not going to be fun for you. Right. So, okay, so again, it's the end of the main round. You went to the speed round in which we opened to audience questions, and it's all sorts of wanton chaos, and it's going to be rather funny. Okay, do you understand these rules as I've explained them to you both here this fine evening?
Yes.
Also, yes.
All right, let's cue the randomizer. Let's find out who's going first and second during our main rounds.
and it's like Orangebird is going first.
Okay.
All right.
Woohoo.
This is indicative of how the rest of the stream is going to go. Orange Burden first.
Wow.
A player of confidence. I love it. Okay. Round.
Oh, hey, just a shout out really quick. We got Claude in the comments. Claude in the comments. Good to see you, man. All right. Anyways.
Yep. See, we have to perpetually apologize to Claude because Tiki sent him through the door of banishment, but he brought.
I literally accidentally banned him from the chat, and I felt terrible about it, and I had no idea how to undo it. It was straight up awful.
And Tiki, he brought us snow cones, and you banished him. You monster.
It
They
is
were
legitimately
lemon.
one of the worst things that's ever happened in my podcasting career, honest to
Yep.
God. Anyways.
You banished
Good to see you,
poor
man.
Claude. You know, he's traumatized. He's shaking. You know, it's like I didn't do anything wrong. I don't know what I said.
All right.
Anyways.
Anyway.
Why? Okay, so we're gonna get the round.
All right.
All right. So, music has always been very key to a Pixar film and a Pixar film success, which begs the question, what is the single best track and or song from a Pixar score? Orangebird, what was your answer?
Define dancing from Wall-E.
Okay. Pie.
Married Life from Up.
So Newman versus Giacchino.
Hello, Newman. All right. Orangebird, opening statement.
Brief opening statement.
Yeah, we don't
Brief
need a
opening
row hit
statement.
door. Just opening statement. We're going to be here for hours. It's a row hit door opening statement.
Brief opening statement.
There you go.
Robots in space are in love, and the music makes it. End of opening statement.
All right, Pi.
I mean, it doesn't have to be that brief. But
No. I heard the instructions.
I know. I'm just saying you don't have to. I'm just saying in general, in the future, it doesn't have to be that brief.
It's supposed to be like half that length.
You're right. I was too long-winded. I do apologize.
Well,
Uh,
I think you
Mary-
dangled a few participles.
what was
all
that?
right, all right. Opening statement, Pi.
Yep.
Married Life, the first like 5 minutes of Up, is one of the most iconic scenes in movie history, much less Pixar history, and the music is what makes it. It's Michael Giacchino at his best. It's fantastic music.
All right, let's find it out.
All right. Married Life is great. It is a wonderful piece of music.
Yes, thank you for saying that.
However,
Uh-huh.
it really is just emphasizing what's already going on there, whereas Define Dancing takes this scene in space where really not much is going on. You're just kind of flying around, and it gives it the emotional heart and core of the scene, and it makes you feel what these robots are feeling, the joy and the love and the being cared for with each other and finding someone. And it really brings that all together with a pretty minimalistic animated scene. So it truly does the legwork for creating the emotional core of that scene.
You do raise a good point about doing the leg walk, whereas Married Life is more symbiotic with the animation, which I think is not a point against it, though, because that symbiotic is what makes both of them so good. The animation on its own would not be as good, and the music on its own would not be as good. They build off of each other. I feel like for a movie score, we're not just looking for a song on Spotify, we're looking for a movie score here. And that really is something that is a testament to how great it is. And while you say Define Dancing is a fantastic song, is a fantastic sequence, it's all great, Married Life is so iconic. It plays on Main Street. It's a part of the Disney lexicon. It's one of the most iconic scores, and for a reason. You can go, while yes, it is symbiotic with the animation, you can listen to it on its own and get that entire emotional journey with nothing else going on.
Yeah, but iconic doesn't necessarily mean best. It just means memorable. And well, like that is one measure of measuring the worth of something. I think the fact that Define Dancing is something that's a little bit more subtle in the way that it has interacted with the people who have seen this movie and the people who watch Pixar movies. I feel like it's more of one of those things that sticks with you in a way that can be taken with the movie and without the movie and still give you those emotions. Whereas with Married Life, you hear it, and yes, it takes you on the entire emotional journey of those first 5 minutes, which is not necessarily what I want. I don't necessarily want to cry every single time it plays on Main Street. That's not a great emotional response. But Define Dancing is not only relating to the movie, but it allows it to kind of grow into the emotions that you bring to it as well.
See, and I understand where you're coming from here, calling Define Dancing subtle as a positive, but I honestly do think that kind of works against it, because with Married Life, it sticks with you. You hear it once and you know it. Like, oh, this is Up. This is that music. This is that song. You're never going to forget that. Define Dancing, because of its subtlety, it kind of blends in. Unless you're paying attention to the music specifically, you can kind of miss it. It kind of blend in with the rest of the score. Even if it's fantastic, it's just, like you said, subtle. Married Life, it is there. It announces its presence. It's from the first second. I'm here. Listen to me. I'm awesome. Which is, I believe, what Michael Giacchino had in his notes. I'm here and I'm awesome.
Fair. That's a fair point. However, I think that like because it is subtle, it doesn't blend into the score of the movie though, because the rest of the movie score is very kind of background noise. This is the one song that kind of brings it out, and I think not wasting your song for an entire movie score in the first 5 minutes is sort of a lesson in patience and music writing in terms of an entire movie. You're talking about how it's not just a single on Spotify, it is an experience. And by putting that in the middle, by putting that at the height right before things sort of really kick off, brings its weight into it. Whereas where do you go from Married Life?
There has always been an issue with Up as it peaks in the first 5 minutes, but calling this song the peak is not exactly an insult to the song.
No, but it is supposed to be the best track or song from a Pixar score. We are talking about the score as it being the best part of it.
I get where you're coming from. I do. I disagree, though, because Married Life's... It just is so intrinsically Disney because it's enchanting. It's whimsical. It feels like it's magic when you listen to it. It's one of the most Disney-feeling scores. If it had lyrics, it would be in every single parade, and everyone would be sick of it because it's that Disney, that Pixar feeling, that magic, that wonder, that enchantment, that whole story going on.
Hot take, it doesn't have lyrics, and I'm already kind of sick of it. It's overused, and it is just kind of now not just a Up song. It is, as you said, it plays on Main Street. What about Up is on Main Street? Nothing but that song that I hear every single time someone wants to bring up Pixar.
Everyone brings it up because it's the best.
Everyone brings it up because it's the loudest in what it does. That doesn't mean it's the best. Have you ever met a frat boy? Because they're the loudest, and that does not make them the best. That just makes them noticeable.
So you're calling Married Life the frat boy of Pixar songs?
Yeah.
Okay.
That definitely went in some directions I wasn't expecting.
You are expecting frat boy of Pixar songs?
Definitely not. I can't say that I was. Before we do
Right,
deliberation, we do have like I do like LEB's pick saying I would have gone with the song that plays when Remy first sees Paris.
That's a very good one.
I was very close to going to some Ratatouille music.
Another Giacchino pick.
I strongly feel like Bundle of Joy is the correct answer to this.
That was my back. That one or the Ratatouille music were my two backups, but I felt Bundle of Joy was just like Married Life, but slightly less iconic.
I realize that we are done with the argument part, but the fact that you even had a backup really testifies to the fact that maybe it shouldn't have won, because I never had a backup. The answer is Define Dancing.
Yeah, this is why we should really talk about this after we actually vote on who won.
All right.
Sorry. I have very many feelings about Define Dancing.
Yep.
All
right. Jacob, where are you coming down?
I gotta say, I'm gonna give it to Orangebird.
That's 1 point for OB. Tiki.
Yeah, I think about halfway through, I was leaning Pi just because I felt like Pi was doing a really good job of kind of like putting Married Life up on that pedestal of like some of the all-time best Disney music, like Pixar or otherwise, just the iconic factor of it all. But yeah, I mean, Orangebird really came in on the defense and really stole the point from under him. I got to give it to Orangebird.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of torn because I think I liked Pi's argument, but I do really like how Orangebird
really brought in a lot of interesting points in defenses when it came to...
That's the thing. There's a lot of great defense. So I think the defense carried Orangebird to the finish. So I'm going to say it's probably unanimous. We're all giving the point to Orangebird.
Clean sweep for the first round.
Clean sweep.
I would say, if given my personal preference, I think that the two scenes are pretty equal as far as like just being cinematic scenes. But as far as tracks go, I think I prefer Married Life.
Yeah.
But that's just because of the Main Street of it all, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
It's like tied to Main Street at this point.
There's a loss for Greek life everywhere, but I respect it.
Not really. Well, sorry, I was going to say it's hard to tell for me, but I think an option I might have pitched would have been Life's Incredible again from The Incredibles.
It's a good
Oh, I
one.
can see that. Yeah.
Yet
That's
again,
pretty good.
another Giacchino pick.
Exactly.
Probably my favorite composer.
Yep.
All right.
Let's take a moment here. I'm gonna check. Hand the piggy bank. See if the coin's in there. Just give me a moment. I'm shaking. I'm hearing some familiar John Ratzenberger, and no coin. I'm afraid. Nothing. Good day, sir. No.
Claude is just pointing out how he loves the Inside Out overlay. And yeah, let's just give a shout out to Jacob Weil here for the.
Don't inflate his ego, but this lady.
No, I need to, man. I feel like we owe him a lot, and I feel like I need to give him credit from time to time. Jacob, seriously, this is some really great work on your part.
Well, thank you. And as I said, I credited them. And if you want to check out the person who made it, I linked the actual image to the DeviantArt page in the
nice.
in the description below where I got this from.
Right on. Okay.
Jacob.
Yes, Dragon.
Was the word said?
Well, I think you guys ought to know something. I was checking, and I will say this. Pie, you did not say any of the words,
Oh my god.
but Orange Bird did.
Oh.
Yep.
Snap.
Bum bum bum.
Ooh, yeah.
Let's drop that X.
The word that Orange Bird, that the bird said, was cry.
Cry.
Oh my god.
Yep.
That's fair.
That makes sense.
That word was said by the bird. All right, do you know what that means, folks? It is time for the Wheel of Punishment.
Oh boy. Dragon's choice.
Heck, I'll even want me to add your choice too, Tiki? Do you want me to add
No, I'm just a spectator in this. Dragon, Jacob, by all means.
All right. But as you can see, we have all these different choices here.
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever it lands on will be your punishment. Do you have any questions about any of these particular punishments?
They seem pretty self-explanatory, except reversal.
Well, reversal in this case, I'm glad you asked, since I don't think it's ever landed on. Let's just say this: if you land on reversal, you would have to spin again, but the punishment would instead go to Pie.
Ooh. I like that one.
But I made it small, so it has a smaller chance, so it has a less chance of happening because it could easily be broken.
But I'm also small, so I think odds are in my favor.
Well, too bad. Oh.
I'm
Oh,
sorry, you
God.
were saying?
Oh my god!
Oh, boy.
I
love
do
it.
believe I said the odds were on my side.
Well, you weren't wrong. So Pie, I'll keep reversal. I'll keep reversal up just in case, so maybe we can get a double reversal.
Oh my god.
Just pick, this is the rest of the episode.
No Uno reverse to you.
So this will be
No, it's
Pie.
gonna land on respin, and then we're gonna.
Oh god.
So this will be Pie's punishment, as it turns out.
All right.
Oh.
Oh, that's a brutal one. That one sucks.
That's okay. I'm gonna be getting a lot of points, so I can take
All
it.
right. So
Really, where are they?
On the way.
no points awarded next win. That is unfortunate, but that does, however, bring the score still to OB1, Orange Bird 1, and Pie 0.
Get used to that, Pie, at least for a round.
Yep.
I did
That's the
say
first
when the coin chose me first that I was gonna stay there.
That's the first time it's actually ever landed on reversal. So I'm actually kind of glad it worked out well.
Yeah.
Happy to be a part of history.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, let's see how well it turns out for you. Anyway, should we move on to the next round, Dragon?
I think we should.
All right. Time for the non-biological father round.
Yeah, so in honor of
No
Father's
biological father.
So in honor of Father's Day, we like to celebrate a little unconventionally. Of course, where would Pixar be without its non-biological father, Mr. George Lucas? So it just feels kind of right. We should pose the question: who is the best non-biological father of Pixar film?
Folks, this is a deep cut Red Letter Media reference. I'm sorry.
We just like the way it sounds.
Non-biological
So by non-biological father, and yes,
father.
yes, we're gonna probably keep on saying that. That means that's just
Be good.
literally what it means. Like, is it could be a father figure or an adopted parent. So whoever does not share the same blood as the young child, as the offspring. That is that's what we're working with.
And it's Kogias' father figure.
Yeah, father figure would be in Doc Hudson's case. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Essentially, it's just a fun way of saying father figure, but it's essentially
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right, so OB.
I chose James P. Sullivan, aka Sully, from Monsters Inc.
The brave monster that landed that plane very heroically. Okay.
I understood that reference.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
I chose the fabulous Hudson Hornet, or Doc Hudson, from Cars.
All right, OB. Dazzle us.
I think when you say father figures in a Pixar movie, the immediate thought is Sully, because he raises a small human child from the human world, and like that's just the plot of the movie. The plot of the movie is, oh no, there's a small child. I guess I'm a father now. And he owns the role. He is so attentive and cares so much for Boo, and they have such an adorable relationship, and she clearly loves him. And he even co-parents with Mike Wazowski. So, being the father.
All right. Bye.
The whole Cars trilogy, ignoring that a lot of Cars 2 focuses on Mater, but the parts of Lightning McQueen in the whole trilogy is about him growing, him being this rowdy, brash kid who just thinks he's on top of the world, better than everyone, too good for all of this, to being a responsible adult and being a father figure in his own right to Cruz Ramirez, who I, to my dying day, will say was originally meant to be his child from a one-night stand years ago. The point is, Lightning McQueen grew, and how he grew, how that started, was that first Cars movie where Doc Hudson mentored him. Doc Hudson was the father figure he never had, and through that, you see Lightning McQueen's growth start. It's thanks to Doc that the whole trilogy can happen.
All right.
Before
Let's
we
fight
get
out, Father. Yes.
Before we get into it, LEB said this.
Thank you for the insight, LEB. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's fight it out. Like fathers.
Silently?
Non-biological
not paying attention to
fathers.
each other?
Exactly.
Okay.
So, in that, night, couple hours that Sully had Boo, how many times did he lose her among dangerous machinery so she almost died?
Hey, so we're talking about father figures, and what's the father stereotype of not exactly being the most attentive to your child
Yeah.
and loving them anyway and caring for them anyway? But if we're going purely by these stereotypical father tropes, that's pretty accurate.
If we're going by father tropes, Doc Hudson is an automobile with a mustache who hangs out in his garage all day. If we're going by stereotypes, I think Doc Hudson wins. Look at that. That is if you went to like an AI image thing and just Googled dad but a car, it would look like Doc Hudson. But we're not just talking about stereotypes. We're talking about the impact. And you see the impact on Lightning. Boo's 3, and we never see Boo again.
Okay, Boo's 3, yes, but the impact of Boo's relationship with Sully is very clearly made a mark in how much she clearly loves him and clearly views him as the safe monster that she can go to, like a father figure, the one that's going to scare the scary monsters away from the closet. That's what dads do. And she even just nicknames him Kitty. That's the whole thing in the movie is, Boo, Kitty! How adorable is that? She loves Sully with her whole heart, and she just bet him, and that's because he is great at what he does, which is being a comforting presence, a rock in the middle of chaos, and truly looking out for her well-being. And yeah, he's not necessarily the most attentive. He's never been a father before. This is a small child who escaped through a door. That's never happened. What do you do with that? You learn, and he does. And he even goes back to then try and find her again.
He does, but you know what Doc Hudson does? He takes care of someone who's already grown, is past his adolescent. He's a teenager, young adult. Type people who usually don't get taken in, who usually also send in ways that's tough to change. And Doc Hudson, through some tough love, through some guidance, reluctant at first, but clearly grows to love the kid. He takes Lightning in. He takes Lightning on his wing. He trains him. He teaches him. Trains him not just to be a better racer, but a better person. Much like the stereotypical dad thing of showing you how to like do some project together. Doc Hudson's teaching him how to drift. Teaching him how to do everything. And when Lightning needs him, when that race is happening and he doesn't have his good captain there with him, Doc Hudson's right there with him, ready to go.
Yeah, but I think you're looking at it from a very one-sided perspective. Sully is very clearly the father figure to Boo in this movie, but Boo also very clearly sees him as that sort of figure. Whereas I don't think that Lightning McQueen really sees him as a father, as an inspiration, yes, as a mentor, yes, as a previous celebrity, someone he had looked up to before, yes, but I mean, I don't think Lightning McQueen's going to Doc Hudson for girl advice or what to do when he pisses off Mater and doesn't know how to get his friend back. Like, he's there for racing. And yeah, he learns some real life applications of how to deal with his emotions and how to grow as a person, but he's not looking for that. He's looking for a specific thing.
Just because it started with a specific thing doesn't mean that's how it ended. And I feel like you can see with the way Lightning has grown through the trilogy that even off-screen between movies, the mentorship role has evolved to more. That Doc is someone very important to Lightning. And even in the future movies, you see the way Lightning reveres him, misses him, how there's a hole that's tough to fill with Doc gone, which thematically leads into Lightning training his own mentee, his own daughter figure, becoming the father figure himself, bringing it all full circle with Cars 3. It all links together.
It all links together, but I feel like you're making a lot of assumptions on the type of link it is. A mentorship does not necessarily mean a fathership, whereas I feel like with Sully and with Boo, what you get is very clear. There's not another interpretation of how that relationship should work. And so if we're going purely by who's the best non-biological father figure, it has to go to the one that feels like a father.
But does he feel like a father or like a fun uncle or babysitter? Because it's important to note, the entirety of Monsters, Inc. only takes over a couple hours' time. That's the time anyone can be fun with a toddler. Anyone can connect with, oh yeah, I took my nephew out and we had an adventure. Sure, I lost her a few times, but whatever. That's great. That's fantastic. Doc Hudson and Lightning, they were together for months, if not years. We don't know how long went between Cars 1 and 2. Unless we do, I haven't seen Cars 2 in a long time. But Cars 1, great movie, and I love it. Point is, they had time, and their relationship grew, and they grew closer. Whereas Sully, it's babysitting.
It is more than babysitting, though, because, babysitters, and I've been a babysitter, don't typically put the child that they're babysitting's artwork up on their wall and look at it fondly as the moment of, why am I still doing this? He has her art on his clipboard. She's the reason he keeps going through becoming the CEO and learning how to take over the company. It's because he learned how to take care of her first, and she continues to move him forward and fill his heart up. It's like the Simpsons meme with the "do it for her" on his wall. It's the same thing. It's the daughter that you're doing it all for. And even though he can't see her again, the monster world, her door, it's destroyed. He's still going for her. He could have just forgotten about her, but he didn't.
And Doc Hudson could have just let Lightning go as soon as the road was done being repaired. But he didn't either. He also stuck it out to the very end. He spent his last days with Lightning, building him up, preparing him for the world, getting this troubled youth into a good spot, being the mentor he needed. And it was great.
All right, Tiki, where are you coming down?
Yeah, I think this is pretty definitively Pie's non-point, I guess.
I concur. I vote similarly. I say the non-point is Pie's.
My non-point goes to Pie as well.
Clean sweep, but for a zero sum. But hey, look on the bright side. OB did not get the point, so small victories. Yay!
The score still 0-1.
Yep. So this is a good exhibition bout.
Yeah, lateral movement.
At least you got it out of the way early.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, you knocked the cake out of Orange Bird's hand. It's just like, oh, isn't that look at that cakey point? Not for you.
But I have received.
Now we both can't have it.
But I have received word from confirmation from Dragon that the other penalty phrases are still in effect. So neither of you guys are safe, entirely safe.
Let's just flush these out now. Aardvark. Adapting. What other A words?
Cotton candy.
Cotton candy.
It's not an A word, but it does remind me of Bing Bong.
Hot tea.
And keep in mind, you're not safe between rounds either.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
that's why we're doing this now.
Flushing it out.
We're figuring out what they are.
You feeling nervous?
No.
Yeah. Always.
All right.
Okay. That brings us to. I'm sorry. Before we go,
but I will say, you guys did not say the word.
Cool.
Not Aardvark. Good to know.
Or cotton candy.
You guys remembered something. I have a Pixar coin in my china closet.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna see if it's the one.
You have a china closet?
Yes, and egad, it is. I found it. It's the Hidden City Cafe coin.
Ooh.
So let's see. This is gonna be I wonder how technical we should be here because
I was about to say, what if he loses a point?
What?
What if he loses a point?
You can't go negative, so still be zero.
Yeah.
I think that'd be funny.
But it's not how we.
Dragon, I know what you're going to ask, and I think Pi won the round fair and square. I think it should go to him.
Okay, Pi, it's your call. If you want to flip it, you can. But if you choose not to flip it, that means Orange Bird will flip it.
I'm definitely gonna flip it. There's no downside.
Yeah, there's literally no risk at this point.
And I love gambling.
Well, also, I mean, there's the risk of Orange Bird could lose a point.
Oh.
See, that's what I mean. Right now, Orange Bird, you'd be 0-0. So, well, fine. There you go.
You raise a good point.
Like, it's been a worthwhile endeavor. Let's just move on.
Like, remember, I think it was the last debate where we went into the speed round where it was 1-0.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And that brings us to round 3.
Oh boy.
Okay, so in light of the response to the Princess and the Frog's retheming of Splash Mountain, does beg the question: which Pixar film should overlay Splash Mountain instead?
Can I ask a clarifying question?
A little late for it, but go ahead.
Is it specifically the Walt Disney World Splash Mountain? Or
It is
specifically,
both.
it is both. Okay.
Well, it's
Let's
basically
just
saying
say
instead of
both.
Princess and the Frog, it's like it's been rethemed to Pixar.
Okay.
All right, so OB, answer.
My answer was the lesser remembered Bug's Life.
Okay.
Pie.
Coco.
Okay. All right, OB. Desless.
So A Bug's Life has a lot of what I think people are missing with Princess and the Frog is that I noticed a lot of people online have been saying there's no big moment. Like it's great, but like especially with the drop, people are like, well, there's no excitement here. We're not like terrified. It's just kind of the drop's there. Whereas with A Bug's Life, picturing it as you're going through writing on your little stick through the things and everything is super big and there is this moment of danger because you're bugs. And as we remember in the movie, when it started raining, they're not particularly fond of getting wet because, again, they're very small bugs. So when you go over that hill with the stick, it brings this excitement and this adventure, and everything is big and larger than life, and you feel so small on your tiny stick, making the ride once again terrifying. I would like to emphasize this ride's scary. I don't like this ride.
All right. Pie. Bring out the happy snacks, man.
Look, the thing that makes just about any dark ride great, any ride in general at Disney, is the music and the atmosphere. Coco has incredible music and has incredible atmosphere. It's one of the best soundtracks of a Pixar movie as far as like singing songs, and it's one of Disney's better soundtracks in modern times, even though it only has a couple of songs, they're all bangers. It would be fantastic playing as you float along. And the visuals of when you dive into going inside instead of with Splash Mountain, you go into a cartoon world when you go inside down the Slipping Falls first drop. With Princess and the Frog, you do that, and you're in the enchanting bayou with the fireflies that plays well in person but does not videotape well. They should not have released that video. That made it look so much worse than it is. But with Coco, you do that, and then you're immediately surrounded by marigolds and colors and bright dancing skeletons, and you're in the land of dead right when you go down that first drop. And you have such a fun transition there, and it's such a beautiful place to explore. A great atmosphere, great music.
All right. Let's fight it out, and be careful of the splash zone.
So you really emphasize that it's great atmosphere and great music. So is Princess and the Frog. Princess and the Frog has an amazing soundtrack, and it has a wonderful set of visuals. It's one of the most beautiful modern day Disney movies. What you're doing here is a lateral move, which, yeah, would be great, but doesn't really have anything to do with water, doesn't really have anything to do with like you're coasting on vibes here. Whereas with A Bug's Life, you can really make it an adventure. You're these little bugs. You're going on your little stick and you're going down a river where you're so concerned about whether or not you're going to hit the water because you're a tiny bug. And it's so good. And the music is also still pretty good in A Bug's Life. I almost mentioned it at the beginning, but like Bug's Life, a banger soundtrack. Not well remembered because we're old and the movie is old, but it is great. And it is such a fun cast of characters and such a fun idea of scenery where everything is bigger than you and you're doing so much, and it allows you to feel so small in your tiny boat here.
See, I like where you're going with the big and the small. I always love oversized objects. Anyone who's seen anything I've ever reviewed or done on the forum know I love oversized objects. What you're missing here is the Splash Mountain's hallways are small. You can't really do that over. There's very few parts where you can do that. And if you do it outside, it's going to look out of place. It does not transition to anything else. And as much as you keep talking about this big excitement of being tiny and bug and the water being a threat, which is great. Again, love bugs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great.
But with Coco, you have this not that kind of danger, but a ticking clock. You have the people walking against Miguel and him having to escape them all so he can get home and he can find his family and he can play his music. And with Coco, you have a transition where it fits into these lands because at Disney World, the Mexican architecture of the outside and that whole vibe will blend seamlessly with the American Southwest. It will just fit in like a glove in Frontierland to the point where that's the rumor of what they're building beyond Big Thunder Mountain is Coco because it just is such a perfect fit there. And then for Disneyland, while it might be a little out of place for the Critter Country, if you frame it as kind of an extension of the nearby Haunted Mansion, and you have this whole kind of spooky small land there going right from ghosts to skeletons, again, feels like a natural transition. And then you have the Brehas, I believe how it's pronounced, the spirit animals, who would then transition well into the more fantastical Critter Country, with Winnie the Pooh and other fantasy animals nearby that are nice and bright and colorful.
Yeah, but what you're missing is that Disneyland already has this sort of very Hispanic, very like Mexican inspired land, and it's not where Splash Mountain is. It's all the way like on the other side in their Frontierland, which again, yeah, it would look pretty nice in Disney World, but I feel like in Disneyland it doesn't really fit. You're going from Haunted Mansion to Winnie the Pooh, and then you have Mexico that really doesn't fit
singing
there.
Skeletons.
Yeah, you have singing skeletons.
And then colorful cartoon animals.
But with A Bug's Life, it is not only something that can fit into Frontierland because you're doing the outdoor wilderness, and it is very much the nature and the outside that fits, but in California Adventure, it's a callback to A Bug's Land from over in California Adventure, which is something that I grew up with and loved and I miss. And I feel like Disneyland fans, because a lot of Disneyland fans are more like locals and regulars, would love that sort of callback and seeing it come back with doing this ride. And then you're also talking about the plot of the ride, about how you have the ticking time bomb. So what are you doing is just like a book report ride, which I do think you usually aren't too fond of in Imagineering competitions.
See, but here's the thing with book report rides. While they might generally be a no-no, they can work if you focus in on a small part or one specific theme. Like look at Peter Pan's Flight, one of the most iconic rides of all time. That's a book report ride, but they focus on the tour through Neverland, so the story is less of the big deal. Whereas with Coco, you focus on Miguel's going on an adventure through the land of dead, and he has a time limit before he's going to be trapped there. So it's a fun adventure, it's fun music, again, great soundtrack. Don't get me wrong, Randy Newman say, was a bug, little bug, hardly there, is a good song. It's not going to be iconic on the level of Princess and Frog, it's not going to be as iconic on the level of Zippity Doo-Dah, and it's not as iconic as Remember Me in its 3 different forms and Oscar winning, if I remember correctly. If it didn't win, it was snubbed.
That's fair. That's fair. But I think, the fact that you're doing sort of that kind of book reporty ride in something that is Splash Mountain, people literally made petitions to save. It is one of Disney's most beloved rides, I think.
And was a book report.
And was a book report. Yes, was a book report. Was a book report on a movie you literally can't buy in the United States. So how many people knew it was a book report? Not many.
Fair.
Not many. So I feel like the fact that you're just sort of putting something in there that just, it's nice, it vibes. I don't think it's really giving the effort of what people would want from Splash Mountain's retheme, whereas A Bug's Life is lesser known, the same way that Song of the South was. It is definitely a slightly older audience that is getting this sort of niche thing, which I think, for it being one of the bigger thrill rides in Disney World, is a pretty safe bet. And I think that it has the unique factor of just not being quite the most popular pick that fits really well into what Splash Mountain had originally, and that I think is being lost in Princess and the Frog.
See, but here's the thing. Okay.
Okay.
All I'll say is I'll Venmo you each $5.
Are you trying to bribe us?
Yes.
That might be penalty worthy.
Kidding, I don't have that kind of money.
Penalty for what? He still has 0 points.
I could bring up.
I didn't say we could penalize him. We had to penalize him now.
You make a very good point.
And I still have the wheel.
Yeah. We're gonna simmer on that. Meanwhile, all right, let's deliberate. Okay, I'm gonna cast the first vote, and my vote goes to OB. I think OB had a really good. Yeah, OB really did dig in the book report aspect of like that, and also the location of like, yeah, it's not really. It might feel a little out of place. So yeah, that's where my vote is. I'm voting OB. Jacob, what say you?
This actually is an interesting question, but I'm going to go with OB as well.
All right, Tiki. Just for the heck of it.
My vote actually would have gone to Pi, believe it or not.
All right.
Not a clue.
I will just say really quick. OB did mention the fact that Frontierland at Disneyland has that kind of like Day of the Dead area. That is like, it's honestly felt out of place for a while. It could easily be moved. I honestly kind of feel like it's a little bit of a bottleneck in the current park layout. So get that thing out of there. Honestly, I think Pi really laid out a great sense of placemaking with both the Magic Kingdom and with I really did kind of dig the whole like the Haunted Mansion transition into Coco. I honestly thought that was really thoughtful. So yeah, but alas, I guess it doesn't matter.
All right. So let's read some comments before we transition here. All right. Let's see. Okay, Claudie said Luca and Finding Nemo could make for a really good overlay. I agree with Luca. I think Luca would have been actually an excellent idea for Splash Mountain. Let's see. Little Blue says, to correct Pi, the actual, and he's absolutely right about this, to correct Pi, the actual title of the song is The Time of Your Life.
Pi, I will say I did really enjoy your Randy Newman impression.
Yeah. Little
It's a
book.
very underrated Randy Newman song, by the way. It's a good one.
It is.
All right, let's see. There was also earlier. Did we read any of the? I don't think we read any of the Father's Day.
I don't think so.
Yeah, say real quick. Someone had a good one. I wanted to mention about.
Theme Park Priest says, I'm a non-biological father.
That's for the courts to decide. But
Same.
Yeah.
It's like,
Carl and Russell would absolutely count, Eli.
yeah, that's what I was
Absolutely.
looking for. I'm looking for that one. Where are we seeing?
Yeah.
What is it? Is it not LEB?
No, it was Eli.
LEB said worst pick is Good Dinosaur.
Which
Yeah.
I do think if we are counting Arlo in like father figures, that is a really solid pick. I will say.
I think I would have had to seen the movie to know.
Fair point. All right.
There was a dinosaur in it. I remember that. I know I saw it.
No, there's a dinosaur
More
in there.
pretty landscapes.
Yeah.
Who would have guessed?
Well,
There
no,
was a
it's actually-
mushroom tripping sequence.
Well, here's
Oh,
the good
well then
dinosaur
now I have
actually.
to watch it.
Well, no, okay, seriously, they're misleading you here. Okay, so the Good Dinosaur actually is about the foundation, the history of the Dinoco Corporation. It's all about like
Oh man, if
how it
only,
started
dude.
as. It's about how it started as kind of this startup, and then it kind of turns like a Wolf of Wall Street kind of thing, and like we're going
That is the Pixar movie I need.
All right, so Jacob. What? Okay, well, I guess let's go to the coin first.
Okay.
All right, so you both have. I'm going to award you both some Luxo money. Here you go, Luxo money for you. Luxo money for you. What you gonna buy with it? You gonna buy a coin flip with it?
Oh, you know I am.
All right, let him flip.
Well, OB flips first, right?
Well,
That doesn't matter.
this one's not really. Okay. All right.
Hey!
Yeah, I think that might be the first time I've ever won one of these coin flips.
Do you feel good about it?
I do.
All right, we're gonna bring out the penalty wheel now for him. Okay.
No.
I am also going to buy a coin flip.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
all right, 3-1. Pie's the underdog.
Yep. Okay. So now,
Hold on a second. Hold on. There we go.
2 dinosaurs?
Oh wow, that might be too many.
1.5 max.
okay. So, Jacob, was anything said?
No.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's
so,
getting close, but no.
Yeah, but no.
Yep. All right. So now we are entering the mighty speed round. This is what separates the novice from the real debaters.
Oh yeah.
Makes or breaks. I mean, right now, look at OB. OB's riding high. Look at me. I got 3 points. Aren't I special? Don't I have this in the bag? Well, that can change, OB. Don't get so cocky.
But I started the game cocky. I don't know where I'm supposed to go from there.
All right. Anyway, so the way a speed round works is it's 30 seconds followed by a 15-second rebuttal. Whoever speaks first goes first. There is a timer, of course. And we are now taking audience questions. So, audience members, yes, you guys in the corner, I'm looking at you. I'm turning to my right. You guys. We'll take your questions, ideally Pixar themed, and we will use them, and you get to decide who made the more compelling argument and who gets the point.
But remember to stick around to judge.
Yes, don't abandon us. Please don't leave us. We're very desperate. We need approval. We're very scared and lonely. We don't want Tiki to cry himself to sleep at night. We don't want that.
I mean, that's pretty much just my average night, anyways.
I was about to
He's
say
got
that
so
doesn't
little to
sound
live for.
different.
He needs you guys. He needs the audience. We need the audience here. You're non-biological fathers. We need.
Oh dear God!
Oh, God.
Man, it's so close to non-biological Father's Day.
Eli, yes, you can. Anyone in the audience can do an audience
So
question.
here's the thing. I forgot that I didn't know. I completely forgot that Little Blue, we referred to him as Eli now because I kept thinking like
Or Little
I was thinking,
or Little Blue, whatever. Yeah. Either way, yes, you can participate since you're in the audience.
Are you in
Okay.
the audience? Do you have a question?
There
You
you
have
go.
an audience question.
all right,
I
well,
think
guess-
that is the audience question.
have
We
to
got to debate
argue.
whether he can.
Oh, okay.
All right.
all right, we have an actual question submission here.
Ooh, I like that submission.
All right, I think
Let's do it.
we should use this to start off strong, and then we'll get to some of our pre-planned stuff, and we'll thread the needle on some of our audience stuff. Okay, which Pixar villain should get their own movie?
That is a good question.
Can we just go?
Yeah. Whoever speaks
Yeah,
first
main
has to pick an answer. So whoever speaks first is going first, and that's their
Oh,
answer.
okay, cool. Syndrome.
Okay.
First come, first serve.
Screenslaver.
Okay.
Two Incredibles villains.
All right, so Syndrome, we see as his tiny child, little buddy who's trying so desperately to follow in the footsteps of Mr. Incredible. And then the next time we see him, he has already made robots that have taken out like so many superheroes trying to take down Mr. Incredible. What we need is a movie that documents how he slowly lost his mind and decided that he was going to go into this route of supervillainy in order to just figure out how to take down his once hero.
You said it right there. We see him as a kid, and then we see him as an adult. We see the beginning and the end of his story. Is the middle really going to be that interesting? With Screenslaver, who I want to say is named Carolyn Dever, but don't quote me on that. She's a lot more of a blank slate. We get a vibe for her personality. We know one traumatic thing that happened in her backstory that more affected her brother than her. There's a lot you can do there to explore someone who had this double life, who had this duplicitous side to her. You have freedom to explore and make a movie.
Yeah, but Screenslaver is super forgettable. I didn't even remember who she was until you had already said her. So I think that the audience interaction is just going to be like mid to none, whereas Syndrome has this sort of following that people are already emotionally invested in and we want to see more.
Just because audiences like a character doesn't mean it's going to make a good prequel. In fact, it usually means it's a worse prequel. Look at Solo, a Star Wars story. Look at Lightyear. Known characters isn't a sure bet. What's a sure bet is having a good story. With Screenslaver, you have a chance at that.
Okay, couple things while LEB is deliberating. Remember,
It's Evelyn Deaver, by the way.
That's what,
Evelyn. I knew it ended with Endeavor.
yeah. Also earlier was Ella Brihes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
For me, I think there's only one answer to this question, and it is the iconic, the incomparable Chick Hicks.
I was so close.
Keaton
to
with a
saying
car
Chick
mustache.
Dude, come on. Tell me you don't want a movie of him. Come on now.
I would then have to hear him talk for an entire movie, so I do think I'm going to pass. You make it like I would have to listen to his voice for at least an hour, and
It is a
I
good
don't.
thing Code Geass is not judging this round because he would rail against you so hard right now.
Oh, I know.
Come on, no, it's Michael Keaton. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, LEB says pie.
Yeah.
I wins that round.
Right.
2
I gotta
points.
say,
That
Pie,
one's
you
for
really
you,
fighting
Carolyn
an
Dever,
battle
maybe?
there, man.
Sorry, Tiggy, what'd you say?
Oh, I was just saying he was really fighting an uphill battle there. That was definitely an underdog matchup there.
I wonder if LEB, was that a pity point or did he actually make a good argument? I'm
I
genuinely
think he made
asking.
a good argument.
Okay.
Chick Hicks movie would go crazy. Kachiga! Dragon, would Shelby Forthright count?
Not really a villain.
I know, but that Dynaco pitch that Dragon laid out, I feel like we could do something similar with Forthright.
And he was by and large though.
Yeah, I know he was by and large and not Dynaco, but it'd still be kind of a similar sort of movie. Anyways.
Anyway.
I have to ask Pi, did you say Screenslaver simply because I had already said Syndrome? I need to know.
See, my mind was thinking Chick Hicks, and I was trying to think, can I argue that? Probably not. I'll go Syndrome, and then you said Syndrome.
Yes.
Should have gone with the Chick Hicks, although you did win anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter. You went with the right choice, clearly. All right, anyways.
If you had said Syndrome first, I would have gone with Lotso.
So Eli does have a question, but you guys probably want to get the wheel question in, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Eli, by all means, submit your question. We'll get around to it, but we'll go to our wheel question next.
All right.
All right.
Here we go.
Right, it's time for the Wheel of Pixar.
Oh boy.
Hey,
So-
look, 13 choices on this wheel.
Yep. Hey, look at this
I can
one.
argue all.
13 of them.
2 or 3.
All right. So basically, the way it works, we're gonna spin the wheel. Let's see, whoever. Okay. So, Pi, you won the last round. So you decide you want to spin first or you want to spin second.
I'll spin first. Why not?
All right. So Pi's gonna spin first. He's gonna get an answer, and then we're gonna give Orange Bird an answer, and then I will reveal the question.
It's
And
the only
remember,
first you're going to see this game.
Wow.
this is the one. This is the one you're stuck with.
Mm-hmm.
No exceptions unless you haven't actually seen the movie in question.
I've seen all of these at least once.
All
There's
right.
2 of them on there I haven't seen, so.
Yeah.
Come on,
And-
the good dinosaur.
Yeah, The
Okay.
Good Dinosaur is one of them.
Turning red.
Yeah, I love that one.
It's a good one.
All right. So Pi's got turning red. So what will OB get?
Mm.
Coco.
All right.
Also good.
All right.
All right. So now you have your answers. Let's see what you're going to be answering. Which Pixar movie should get a sequel?
Mm.
Whenever you're ready, Pi.
Turning Red should get a sequel. Like, part of the fun was seeing these kids as kids, getting to see them grow up the next stage from like middle school to high school. I think it'd be really fun seeing how her powers evolve, how her relationships evolve, how life changes now that being more open to it. Meanwhile, Coco was a story beginning to end. Coco's literally not even alive anymore. I don't see a good way to continue that. Whereas Turning Red is just natural to want to go back there and hang out with them and just have a fun side adventure.
Coco may not be alive anymore, but I think the idea that the story ends with Coco is very like a narrow-minded focus of what the movie is about, because the movie is about intergenerational trauma and these things that have happened in the past and how they ripple through and cloud everyone else's judgment. They've fixed what is going on, but no one really knows what happened in the spirit world. And I think the idea of what we can do now in the human world, as Miguel is deeply trying to figure out how to get his family on board.
You can't do Coco again without going back to the Land of Dead, and you can't go back to the Land of Dead without feeling like you're just retreading ground from the first movie. Turning Red, the biggest complaint people have about the movie is it felt like a small, almost like a sitcom by Pixar. But that means it's so easy to continue.
You say you can't go back to the Land of the Dead, and yes, the living characters can't go back to the Land of the Dead, but the whole point of Dia de los Muertos is those spirits now come into the world, and seeing it from their point of view and figuring out how he's watching over them would make from a pretty good point of view.
All right. Tiki, where are you leaning?
Oh man, I honestly think it's really close between the two of them, man. I think I'm gonna have to give it to Pi though. I just think his arguments just made more sense as far as like there's just a lot more room for continuation. I will say again, OB did have some really good defense points though.
I concur. I'm gonna give it to Pi. So it's 3-3.
I think I would have personally would have gone with Pi myself.
All right.
So if that was a main
Okay,
it would have been a clean sweep.
So let's go ahead and go with Little Blue's question. Dragon, do you want to give a rundown for the folks on what Pixar popcorn is?
Well, Pixar Popcorn was on Disney Plus. They did these these really brief shorts, like not really shorts, but like just even like kind of like I want to say just kind of these silent snippets, really. Like there's like Buzz like exercising with the toys is like kind of like a gag, It's like those like
Basically like 1 minute gag shorts.
exactly. So it's literally like it's like
Okay.
the kind of a quick like we're popping the popcorn, the time it would take to make it. You're having a little bit of enjoyment.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Makes
so
sense.
with that in mind, which piece of Pixar animation that's only had one film should return for a Pixar popcorn?
Onward.
Word.
Luca.
Ooh, two solid choices. Two solid choices. All right.
Oh yeah.
Okay, OB, whenever you're ready.
All right. Part of the fun in Onward is how mystical and magical the world they live in is, not just in terms of like what their real world is, but the fact that the brothers' favorite game is essentially D&D. And I think there is a lot of material for fun little shorts and fun little gags where you're having this mystical world that's already filled with D&D creatures and seeing what D&D in an already magical world looks like. I would pay money for that.
The strength of Luca is the characters being small, and it was a very gag heavy. Like the animation style and the way they would do the squash and stretches was very reminiscent of old shorts and like old Looney Tunes, especially. It feels like you could do so much with them, and especially exploring the world now that some of the sea monsters are on land and are a bit more accepted. How are they fitting in? What's the culture shock between the two communities coming together? You could do so much with that, so many little gags, and expand the universe.
That would be really fun, but I feel like you're thinking too big here, in which that'd be really great for a Luca 2, whereas I don't think that because Onward doesn't have like quite the sequel potential, I feel like little gags like that make it the perfect way to kind of reincorporate it, whereas Luca, you just feel sad there's not more.
You can give Pi like 2 extra seconds here.
Okay. So, like, stylistically, though, Onward's very grounded. Like, for all the magic and wonder that happens, the visual is grounded and real. Whereas with Luca, it feels like a cartoon short. Just watching it, it feels like a long short, even as a movie. It would be perfect for popcorn.
Solid use of that extra 2 seconds, Pi. All right. Eli, it is up to you, good sir.
I forgot this was an audience question.
It's like the beginning of the comment doesn't give any clue to that whatsoever.
Don't want to say this joke and get points taken away, so I'm clarifying this is a joke. Comment your Venmo. I'll Venmo you.
Dragon, should I bring out the wheel?
Again, only joking.
I don't know.
I don't
I
have
think
that
we
much.
got school. I think we got school.
All right.
He's on my last nerve for that bribery. I think we should probably school him.
One more. If you do it one more time, we will punish you.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I'll put rule of threes.
Orange bird.
Yeah!
Right.
I
That
have
was
been
good.
chosen. The claw.
All right. Okay. So I know exactly what question we should do next, just to make
Okay.
sure we get it in there. Which Muppet should we see the emotions of Inside Out style?
Yes.
Obligatory Muppet question.
Indeed.
Obligatory Muppet question, as you should.
Yeah.
We always include a Muppet question.
Kermit.
Kermit.
Beaker.
Oh my god.
An inspired choice.
All right.
Keep in mind, this could be the last round, folks. So let's see how this one goes.
So I feel like with Kermit, he presents this very like straight face. He's trying so hard to be like the leader of the group, the straight man of the group, filled with all of these wacky characters. You have to know the inside of his head is just 99% of the time, what are you doing? What are you doing? What is going on? And I think it'd be so funny to see the emotions trying to figure out how to react to things, as well as the gag they have in Inside Out where it's like, oh, go to your happy place, and they play a memory. What's that?
Give Pi 3 extra seconds.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. Me, 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 me. I think that's enough. Me.
I'm forcing you to run down the clock with this shit.
It's a risk. I'm glad I took it.
Fair enough.
See, on one hand, I really want to argue that if you do Beaker's emotions, it's really just going to be more of that. On the other hand, that was great. I have no. What do I say to that? What do I say to that?
Jacob?
Wait.
I
I get to rebuttal.
Oh, yes, you're right.
Yeah, I'm gonna make good use of it. Don't worry.
Oh, are you sure?
Whenever you start talking.
Meep. 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 If I lose, I'm okay with it.
Jacob?
You're really having me vote for this one?
Yes.
All right, we won't be going into speed round because Orange Bird wins.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean,
it would just be that. I mean, what else can you say?
I don't regret
it. Would
it.
just be that. Oh my god.
Well done, though.
That's what we refer to as pulling a Sandy.
God. Wow.
Oh, that was so good, though. I really, in my rebuttal, was almost like, just give him the point. I can't breathe long enough to give my argument anymore. I was dying.
If that's how I lose, I'm happy with it. But you did fantastic. It was good arguing with you.
So did you. But I did, in fact, do what I said, which was remain in first place.
And that's true.
You were technically tied for first place at one point.
Oh.
Just saying.
That's fair.
Yeah. I think for getting that wrong, you could lose 3 points.
God.
But this was a lot of fun. Thanks for having us.
This is great.
Power of positive thinking, kids.
Although maybe I should have pulled out the wheel of punishment before I did anything there.
Yeah.
You want to pull out the wheel of punishment just to see what the punishment would have been if we would have decided to bring the hammer down on Pi?
Yeah, I think we should. In hindsight, I
Just for
really
shits and
wish.
giggles.
I really wish you guys listened to me when I said let's hit him.
I was trying to be generous, but oh well.
We should have been generous to Pi. We should have brought the hammer down on his sticky little fingers.
All right, this would have been his punishment.
Respin!
I'll spin it again just to see what would have happened.
Reversal.
Oh God.
Reversal.
Lose 1 point and give to opponent.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Well, jeez.
Well, either way, OB would have won.
I
That's
don't
the
Wait,
important-
wait. Hold on.
What's up?
I know he's building something.
Oh God.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go.
Yes!
First-
And OB makes history with the first person to ever score 6 points.
Woo!
God.
It's the power of the
Yep.
little people.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I want to thank the special folks in the audience for joining us.
Of course, Kogios, Eli of Little Blue Productions. Eli actually just uploaded our review of the Flintstones movie that I did with him. So check that out on his channel. It's a lot of fun. Let's see. Kogias, LEB, Theme Park Priest was in the house for a while. Who else we got?
Claudie.
Oh, of course. How could I forget? The
Yeah,
incomparable Claude
haven't you
Mourinho.
done enough? Haven't you done enough to Claude?
I've done more than enough to Claude.
Tiki, like a true father figure, forgetting his children.
Oh my god.
Just
my
like for the Pixar episode, how I'm being Mike Wazowski'd by Obi's win.
We had a very brief cameo from Cameron Crooks. They say, I just got here and married life from Up is top tier. Very brief cameo. All right.
There you go.
Anyways.
LEB said, "Good night. I'll punish Pie more next time he's contested."
There you go.
But
yeah.
I think, but
That's
I think
the spirit.
But I think the fact that he like lost a point after the game was over, I think is punishment enough.
No,
I think
that's
the
not
fact that
punishment
he
enough at all.
got my
He
punishment.
suffered. He didn't suffer.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, the fact that OB is the first person to ever get 6 points as well.
Yeah. That's something.
But we'll think about if the punishment carries over next time he plays. Either way.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Watch Inside Out 2, and we're out.
But are we inside?
Yes.